That was strange. Well, I have no idea why that happened. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why that happened. Sorry about that. It said that I lost connection to the network, but my internet was working perfectly fine. Like, no problem whatsoever. It didn't say PlayStation Network, so I don't think that was the problem either. Today has been full of annoyances and surprises. Like, just before you joined the first stream, my province actually had a emergency alert test, which scared the crap out of me. Yeah, the demons in this game are very interesting. In fact, now that I think about it, there really aren't that many, are there? Are there even any demon enemies? Because there's the Smelter Demons, and then obviously Demon of Song, and the Old Iron King, but can't think of any actual enemies that are demons. The Flame Salamanders, I mean, they're clearly from hell, but I don't think they're demons. Is it just me, or did Dark Souls 3 rely, like, a bit too heavily on the previous games? After all, they brought Anne Orlando back. Well, more specifically, they rely too heavily on the first game. Got stuck on the rock. It was cool that, what is it called? Not Harvest Valley, jeez. Earthen Peak was in Dark Souls 3 in the DLC. But, it was like all decrepit and destroyed, unlike Anor Londo that somehow survived however long. Well, it's not just Anor Londo, it's like so much of the lore is, oh, this is a Dark Souls 1 reference, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 1. Well, Dark Souls 2, it does have some Dark Souls 1 stuff, but it just doesn't seem quite as reliant. Like, I guess there's the old Dragon Slayer, but that's not Ornstein, that's a copy of Ornstein. Miyazaki was like I can't remember the word for it. The person who overlooks the game for Dark Souls 2. Like, not producer, there's a different word for it. Maybe that might be the word. So he did have control over the game. He just wasn't as involved as with Dark Souls 1 or 3. Or like compared to as involved he was with Dark Souls 1 and 3. Yeah, and then didn't he come in and like make alterations to the game for Scholar of the First Sin? I mean, but yeah, it would be interesting, like, if he was the sole director, to see how the game would have turned out. There was a time where I've only spent a few hours doing PvP. But yeah, I did stuff in the arena mainly. And then I kept encountering like just the most cancerous builds imaginable. For example, Sanctum Shield users. Basically people who will just use the Sanctum Shield and attack with it. And since, or like they'll do the R1 with it, and since that's, it blocks as they attack, and then, you know, they'll have like the, I can't remember the name of the ring, but it increases the stability of shields, and it's just, oh, such a nightmare. And then, of course, you try and break their guard, but because of how long the animation takes, they're able to dodge out of the way in time. And then there's another guy who kept, like, he would go to a small part of the arena, surround himself with lingering flames, and then cast stuff from behind the lingering flame wall. And would use, like, acid surge and things like that. Just, ugh, so annoying. No, not from release. I started playing it, I don't know how long ago. 4 years? Maybe 5? Oh yeah, and they also had like a crazy optimized armor set. I'm pretty sure they had the crit gauntlets on, the Jester armor, so that they couldn't get backstabbed. The Minotaur helm, because that increases, or it increases your poise the most of any armor. Any armor. And then like Havel's leggings. But like, it's smart, I guess, but it's just not fun. Like, what do they gain by doing it? There's no fun involved for either side. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot he could do that. He never does it. It's kind of bullshit, too. That has to be one of the jankiest fights against Demon of Song I've had. In fact, that him like moving forward, I don't even know if that's meant to be an attack. At least not at that range. I think it's like a small distance closer. Very strange. I think it was only a few weeks ago. Yeah, just a few weeks ago. Explosion. Yep. Oh, that's not good. I have to stop streaming for today. I don't know why. Everything seems to be fine. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is. Then I'm gonna get my vigor to 50, and then I'm just gonna invest everything in dex. I'm sure I've used like the repair source rate like once or twice, um, but usually I just use repair powder, and I don't really find the durability of most weapons to be a problem. I mean, there's a few like the reinforced club that only has 20. That can be pretty annoying. And what is the name of that whip? I think it's just the old whip. That has really annoying durability. Because for whatever reason, the durability just absolutely tanks no matter what you hit. Like it loses 6 or 7 durability per hit. Never mind if you're fighting an armored enemy, because then it's like 10 or 12, or 10 to 12. That is strange. I could have sworn that there was a hollow. There is a hollow, but... Okay, I guess I missed. Yeah, No Man's Wharf can be a pain, but thankfully I figured out, like, your durability, at least in my experience, will start to run out just around when you get the shortcut, so you can just run across there to go to the bonfire, rest, repair your weapon, um, and then you can come back and fight the boss. But also, if you are struggling with durability, backstab enemies. Deals a bunch of damage and it doesn't use durability. Okay, fuck off. Christ. Don't know why I'm using a life gem. It's not like I need it. Or it's not like I need my... What's this? One go. Then yeah, I'd probably struggle. I mean, if I knew I was going to do it in one go, then I'd, again, backstab a bunch more enemies. I was going to say that could be a mistake, but I stunned him. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't, but it's how I did my whip-only playthrough. At least the start, I would just abuse the crap out of backstabs. Whenever I was using the old whip. Yeah, but personally, like, it's not really a problem, the durability. I mean, there are, like, again, some areas where it is a problem. I'll use repair powder, before Ludenzahlen. I also usually use one in the middle of the boss fight, as well as with, Oh, at release. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that, because, again, I didn't play at release. What is Sin? I also need to use repair powder for Sin. Sin, Ava, and Lunzolin. Those are the bosses that I need repair powder for, because they all deal, or they all make you lose durability faster. Okay. You should get more scaling in the new game levels, health-wise, because admittedly I was using an overpowered build. But I killed him within, like... Jeez, how long even was it? It was less than... It was only like a minute and a half, I think. But yeah, the build I was using... So he was like still doing his second phase buff. I'll come back for you, Venjik. To be fair, I was using the ice rapier, so basically the most broken weapon in the game. Okay. And Aldia's Keep. I'm surprised they don't make Aldia appear here. Yeah, I've always preferred faster weapons. Like, not even just dex, just faster weapons in general. So, like, maces, as opposed to a greatsword or ultra greatsword. Though, of course, it is very fun to use heavier weapons and just, like, destroy enemy health. In fact, my previous playthrough, it was Sisyphus. Like, I was dressed up in Greek-looking clothes, as well. I was using the Giant Warrior Club, which is like the boulder on a stick. And it also happens to be the highest, well, it's tied for having the highest AR, physical AR of any weapon in the game. So that was very fun, just obliterating bosses. Unfortunately, this Y-hander is like, it's pretty bad in Dark Souls 2. I did a Onion Knight playthrough in this game, and I used the Y-hander, and the damage was just not very good for the attack speed. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to remember the name of the weapon. It's the Sinner's Sword or something? Lost Sinner's Sword? It's the boss weapon for the Lost Sinner, obviously. But that one, pretty sure it's the same weight, but it does like way more damage. Though there's the penalty of the more you sin, so like killing NPCs or invading people, the higher, or sorry, the lower damage it deals. I don't really need this bonfire, but I'll rest since I'm here. Well, you don't have to manual aim. Like when you're locked on, as long as you don't touch the left stick, then heavier weapons won't do the manual aiming. Dude, what are you doing? It's kind of funny because I've noticed, like, at the start of the playthrough, I'll always do it. whenever using that kind of weapon. But then, you know, just a few hours in, or like an hour in, I'll completely stop doing it. Well, almost completely. What a beautiful area. It's a shame this is only like this little part here that you get to see. Here. Oh, by the way, if you see that little hook hanging there, that's actually a weapon you can get in the game. That's the full moon sickle. It's dropped by the artificial undead. The guys with like the two sickles that will swing them at you. You know, swing them at you like every other enemy in the entire game. What is this boss weak to? I'm pretty sure it's magic. Despite it being a dragon. Quote unquote dragon. My favorite. Waiting. Now turn and fly somewhere else. Oh. You didn't turn. So I'm just gonna fly towards wall like that. God, this boss is a nightmare. Fought it too many times. Especially while grinding dragon scales. Thank God. Well, the boss isn't invulnerable. But yeah, so there's two ways of grinding dragon. Well, three ways. You can do it online, which it's not fun. You can grind this guy, and you'll get 1 each time. I think you need 30 total. Might be 50. I hope it's not 50. Actually, it might be. And then... Is it? Whatever. But then you can also grind the dragon things in Shulva. I'm trying to remember the name. The Imperfect, that's what they're called. In the layer of the Imperfect. Oh, here's a little fun fact in the game. You don't have to fully talk to NPCs to get items.
Bearer of the curse.
You can just run out of their dialogue range and they'll automatically give them to you. Though it has to be, like... It has to be the conversation where they're going to drop an item. So, for example, if you're talking to Kale, if you talk to him once and then walk out of his range, then you won't get the item, because he only drops it by, like, the... he only gives it to you, like, the 3rd or 4th time you talk to him. I haven't actually really tested it for every NPC in the game. Oh, right, I'll do it. But I know it works for getting the Estus Flask from the Emerald Herald and also getting the aged feather from the Emerald Herald. No problem. What other tips do I have? Don't die. That's not very useful. I mean, dying isn't very useful. The tip itself is incredibly useful. What else? Oh yeah, the... I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. It's in Majula, he's up by the... Up by the, like, death statue that counts all the deaths. There's, like, I don't even need his actual name. There's another word for, like, his type, like, because there's one in each game. Like the downtrodden, but that's not it. Crestfallen, exactly, thank you. Is it Solden? Or is that a different game? Or is that just wrong outright? But yeah, so the Crestfallen, either you can die 100 times, and then talk to him for the Ring of Steel protection, or you can just kill him, and he'll give it to you. Well, I'm quote-unquote give it to you. He'll drop it. Okay. Got him. Oh, right, I want to go this way because there's Twinkling Titanite. Yeah. Also, I mean, I imagine you already know this, but you can just kill a lot of, like, most NPCs to get their armor. Because they'll usually drop a piece, or they'll drop, like, their weapon or whatever, and then you can go talk to Merchant Hag Melentia and chill. Sell their armor and weapons, or, well, their armor and weapons that they didn't drop. Also, fun fact, you can get 3 sets of the Saint set, which is, that's a bit of a tongue twister, Lycia, I think her name is, the Miracle Lady. You can get 1 by talking to her with 20 faith, I believe. It might be 30. And she'll just give you the set. And then you can do her quest line and kill her, and you'll get her armor set. And then you can go talk to Melentia and buy it from her. Oh, hey, Darkstar. Thank you for joining, even for a little bit. Oh. Kind of funny that a Great Shield doesn't, like, 100% protect him, considering how massive it is. Gonna have to reallocate, so I get a bit more use out of Flynn's Ring. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if... like, Drake Keeper Armor Set, it's definitely decent, but I don't think it's, like, super good. I don't know, I never really use it. I have a character with all the armor sets. Oh yeah, you can also grind this guy for dragon scales, though I would highly recommend against that. Because it's like dramatically the slowest way to grind them. Especially considering it's not 100%. In fact, it's only like a 10 or 20% drop rate, I think. If even that. Ow. Yep, that was on me. Yep, that one too. Okay, kindly stop, please. Oh, mother. Okay. Well, that could have gone better. Could have gone worse. But definitely could have gone better. Now here comes the fun part. Quote unquote fun. Yeah, but I didn't want to die. I didn't want to be at the bonfire at that exact moment. I'm not sure if if the dragon could actually like easily kill someone. I mean, easily, yes, of course, but just think about the absolute size of it. And first of all, it would instantly break its legs any time that it landed after flying. It's just way too large. It would collapse under its own. In fact, yeah, it would probably collapse under its own weight outright, and it wouldn't be able to fly. Okay, Giant Lord. Assuming that it could stand on its own weight. Brontosaurus. Well, first of all, brontosauruses aren't. I don't think they're the largest dinosaur. I'm trying to remember its name. Give me a second. I need to search it up. Titanosaur. That's it. But yeah, so the difference is Titanosaurs and Brontosaurs weren't as, what's the word? I guess it probably does have thicker legs, doesn't it, than either of those. But yeah, it wouldn't really be able to stomp very well, just because even with all the muscle on its legs, it would still, the muscle itself would probably break its bones, assisted with the gravity. Because it's a careful balance between like amount of muscle and flesh on the legs and body compared to obviously the size and density of the bone. The bones can only be so dense. Also, I'm pretty sure the that dragon probably weighed more than a titanosaur. Oh yeah, so I was talking about the Pyromancer giant earlier, and I just want to show you like how broken it is. I'm gonna grab this soul first though. Okay. See how spammy it is? I guess it does kind of give you an opening, but like with large weapons, you just get hit. Or like, I mean, slow weapons. Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, like how it did those two fireballs like one after another, it can just keep doing that. It was lucky that it took a break to walk forward. Just reading your comment. If it was smaller, yeah. Well, it depends on... Okay. No, I left, by interacting with the corpse of the giant. Once you collect the soul, you can interact with the corpse again to leave the dream. So people don't have to either, you know, die to exit the dream or wait out the timer. Okay, what was I saying? Right, yeah, so a very large dragon would be obviously difficult to kill, but in a way it would also be easier to at least escape from than a smaller dragon. Just because of how like massive it is. So first of all, you'd never even have to get close to it because you know it was there from like miles and miles away. What is your problem? Gone, asshole. Okay. Now those two idiots are fighting, so... Rude. This is getting to be a real pain. Where are you going? I just realized I could quote Happy Souls right now. I just wanted the souls. That's basically just what I was doing. I just wanted to get the soul of a great hero. What was I saying before? Right. Dragons. Yeah, so the problem is with a larger dragon is that they can't maneuver like very easily whatsoever. So if you were to approach from behind, chances are you could, especially if you were like on horseback or something, which, you know, a knight would be, you would be able to get behind the dragon, or like you'd be able to reach the dragon before it could turn around to breathe fire on you. It could, you know, of course, swipe its tail, but there's no guarantee that would properly hit, and it might even injure its tail trying to do that. But yes, if you know, a giant creature like that were to breathe fire on you, even in the heaviest armor, you're kind of screwed. Though, of course, like, you'd never win against a giant dragon like that, because you'd never be able to injure it enough. Like, if you were to chop away at its ankle or something, like, the odds are way, way in its favor that it's eventually going to step on you before you get a chance to, you know, get at, like, its Achilles tendon. So yeah, like overall, a larger dragon would be way more difficult to kill than a smaller dragon. Just due to it being basically impossible to kill by a knight. Where did I get 4 of those? I only get 3. Unless an enemy drops one. I don't remember what enemies dropped them, so... I think maybe the exploding guys do, but only, pretty sure only the ones in Dragon Airy. Okay, I deserve that. I'm not gonna pretend that I don't. Wow, that is low damage. I guess I'm more used to fighting him in New Game Plus 7, so...
bit.
Um, I assume that goes for Souls-likes as well, because if Dark Souls doesn't exist, then Souls-likes wouldn't. So no Lies of P. Ghost of Tsushima, Middle Earth, Shadow of War, Minecraft. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna check my other games. Skyrim. In fact, if they didn't exist, I'd probably be playing the Oblivion remaster right now. Which I haven't even bought yet, but I imagine I would if they didn't exist. Maybe some of the Castlevania games, since there's a bunch of collections. Also, that's like 5,000 hours of my life. More than 5,000 hours of my life. That would be different, so... Okay, that was close. Hmm, 208 days. That's just the, like, that's, 3 Dark Souls. Oh, I forgot about Demon Souls. And Bloodborne. So maybe more around 5,500? If I were to hazard a guess. And that's not including Sekiro, because first of all, I've barely played any Sekiro. And it's also not a Souls game. And that is a hill I will die on. Souls-like? Sure, not a Souls game. It's it's missing the customization of Soulsborne games. As in, like, using different weapons and being able to change how your character looks. Tenchu. I'm gonna have to search that up. I don't know if I've ever heard of it. Hey, Venny boy. My own personal gold pine resin dispenser. That should be plenty. Let me check. Tenchu. I'll look at a video about it later, after the stream. Oh right, came here to also save artifacts. I can never get into Sekiro. It's just having, like, the bosses surrounded by enemies, making it so that you can only attempt the boss every, like, 5 minutes. Well, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what part it is. Because, like, the first spear guy, not the one in, like, the memory, the one after... Not good with names, the horse boss guy. Because there's just like a small army before him and you have to deal with them all, otherwise they'll follow you up to him. So it's like, it makes it impossible to practice bosses. Well, not impossible, but extremely difficult, because by the time you finally reach the boss again, you've already, like, partially forgotten what you were doing. What manner of name is Kavak? Oh boy, that's quite the story. So... Let's see, I was playing Pokemon Y, I believe. And it's just, like... I think I had, like, a random team that I was going to try and play the game with. And I couldn't decide on a name, so I, like, randomly assigned letters to numbers and then had my friend pick a bunch of numbers, and the numbers correlating to the letters ended up spelling out Kavak, and I fell in love with the name, and I've used it ever since. Okay, next is talk to Goblin. And it's funny, like, almost nobody ever pronounces it correctly. A lot of the time, an RNG name, yeah, I guess so. A lot of the time people think it's like some foreign, like very foreign name, because nobody's ever heard of it, which is really good. That's one of the best parts about it, is that it's like... Where's Goblin? It's like very unique. I think there's a company that uses it. But no, I live in Ontario in Canada, like very much not the Middle East or Czechoslovakia. Or wherever people think it comes from. I've noticed that most people pronounce it like Kavik, like as if it's Kavik, which I don't know why. Or Kavak. That's the other way people pronounce it. But no, you have to pronounce it like somebody who has no idea how to pronounce it would say it. Like, Kavak? Is that how you say it? Like, but yeah, so it's Kavak. Very distinctly two syllables. That's another thing. People always like mesh it together like Kavak, but Kavak. There's someone who actually just calls me Totally Not, because my other YouTube account that I use for, like, you know, watching streams and all that stuff is called Totally Not Kavak. And she just could not figure out how to pronounce my name, so she just calls me Totally Not. No, my friend just picked it out. I just picked out the letters. And I guess I said it aloud and one time, and I was like, okay, I guess that's how it's gonna be said. And, I mean, it's how I like saying it, so... And, like, if people can't pronounce it, just saying Cav, it's fine as well. Afraid to lose. I don't know if I've ever really been afraid to lose, like... Honestly, the best description would be, like, strategic retreat. Because it's not like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, I have to get out of the boss fight. But it would probably be during the... Oh, that doesn't happen to me in Dark Souls 2. Like, if I go into a boss fight, I'm not gonna lose to the boss unless I get, like, particularly unlucky. Or, like, if I do lose to the boss, I'll be able to get back to the boss with ease. So yeah, that kind of stuff never really happens in this game. The last time I quit out of a boss fight was probably whenever the last time I fight Sir Alon was, or fought Sir Alon was, just because I probably got hit, quit out, and then fought him again so that I could get the seppuku death animation. Or it might have, I think that must have been it. It could have also been, again, Sir Alon, but it was when I was fighting him with whips only, and a friend of mine, Call of Dark Souls, who also does YouTube stuff. Um, he was using only crossbows, and we kept trying to reset so we could get him deathless or hitless. It's the only time I've ever done his boss fight in co-op hitless. Took like hours as well. Okay, so what next? I guess just the final bosses. Do you have a favorite like character in the Soul series, or like favorite character in each game? My like absolute favorite in the whole series, if it wasn't obvious, is Hawkeye Goff. I use him for like all my profile pictures and stuff. Patches. And then in Dark Souls 2, my favorite is probably Aldia or Vengarl. I'm not sure which one. Dark Souls 3, probably Patches, I guess. Elden Ring. What would be... Well, actually, I haven't even talked about Demon Souls yet. Don't really care for the NPCs in Demon Souls. I guess it would have to be Stockpile Thomas. Or the, can't remember her name. Is it Carla? Because isn't there another NPC named Carla in Dark Souls 3? But probably her or Stockpile Thomas. I'll get back to Elden Ring, but I'll do Bloodborne first. Again, not really many characters I care for. Yeah, the Dark Witch in Dark Souls 3. I'm pretty sure the witch in Demon Souls is also named Carla. Wow, yeah, I really don't care for the NPCs in Bloodborne. I guess maybe the doll? Or maybe the guy with the bucket on his head. Can't remember his name. But then Elden Ring. Elden Ring. Who is my favorite? Haven't played the DLC yet, so there's a few characters that I'll be missing out on. Let me check Elden Ring's NPCs. Because it's just all the DLC NPCs. I like Bach. I don't know about favorite. Alexander's alright. I like Raya. Raya's adorable. Very nice. There's something about characters who are just nice to you in like relatively cruel worlds of games with cruel worlds. Oh right, Big Bogart. I think he might be my favorite. Either him or Igon. Okay, let us begin. Okay, so apparently their AI is supposed to take turns. Which I've heard like as an excuse for saying this is a good boss. They very clearly do not take turns. Okay. I thought she was buffing, so that's why I was nearby. Dude, go down. Oh my god, and you're gonna... The hell? This is the jankiest Throne Watcher and Defender fight I've ever had. Stop blocking. That sucked. What? I think one of them got pushed because it's close to the ledge, so it's not like in the correct position. That would explain why I got followed. What the hell is happening? Get over here.
Many monarchs have come and gone. One drowned in poison, another succumbed to flame. Still another slumbers in the realm of earth. Not one of them stood here as you do now. You, conqueror of adversities. Give us your answer. I lost everything and remain here patiently. The throne will certainly receive you. But the question remains. Would you tell me? Light, dark, or something else entirely?
Hey, familiar shorts. Let's see, what was that question? My favorite DLC area, like by far, is Broom Tower. And I hate, what is it called? Loyce, that's the one. Fume ultra grades. Especially considering, you know, Surlon, Fume Knight, and
you who bear the curse.
The blue aged Smelter Demon are all good great bosses.
And all of this will play out again. It is your choice to embrace or renounce this.
Yeah, it's a fun weapon to use. Though I don't use it very often, because designing a playthrough around it requires defeating Fume Knight very, very early. Which, of course, then means you have to go to Iron Keep very, very early. So, you know. Yeah, I'd say Sunken is better than Loyce, or Aleem Loyce, but
Sovereign, take your throne.
I think Broom Tower is better than both of them. Oh my god. Sorry, just the helmet.
What lies ahead, only you can see.
Because your character's head is supposed to kind of be tilted forward. But the Loyce knight armor, it keeps your head in a like stationary position with your torso. So he's just like head back in his seat. Yeah. Yeah, I go to Liam Loyce first. Then I head to... Well, actually, I mean, technically, in a playthrough, I usually enter Sunken King first to grab the Flynn's ring. And then I enter the Old Iron King DLC. Just to get the bonfire there, but... Like, actually going through and fighting the bosses, yeah, I do. God, I can't remember the name of it. Crown of the Ivory King, that's it. First, and then Crown of the Sunken King, Crown of the Old Iron King. Seven minutes of unskippable credits. Huh. Interesting that Aldia... Well, first of all, he's called Lord Aldia. He's never referred to that in the game. But it's also interesting because it's only one voice, but Aldia has multiple voices. Or only one voice actor. Because it's a man and woman, I believe. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe they, like, layer his voice twice with one that's, like, heavily altered. But that can't be right. Right? But this was back in 2016? I didn't know they actually were able to do that back then. Back then. I mean, it was only 9 years ago, but still. Yeah, a bit of extra stuff. Like, if he popped up in Aldia's Keep, that would be cool. I'll be back in a minute. I am 21. Have I seen Terminator 2? Maybe? I've seen one of the Terminator movies. I have no idea which one it is. I think it may have been the one where they turned to liquid. With the Terminators. Not sure which one that is. Okay, yeah, so then I've seen two. Well, okay, yeah, I know that there's been like crazy effects that have been done, but first of all, this is a video game. Also, it's Sekiro, or, oh my god, not Sekiro. Why did I say Sekiro? It's FromSoft, and this was at the point where Bloodborne was their most like advanced game with like effects and stuff. So completely changing like male to female with just visual effects is, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like something in a FromSoft game. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it doesn't, something in my brain isn't matching up. I think it's more like the graphics of the game with how advanced, well, it's not that advanced, but it's still a relatively advanced effect. Have you ever noticed that like the more realistic special effects in movies get, the less realistic it looks? I don't know how to describe it. It just, there's something off about it. Hello, IDK. It's almost like the effects are more advanced than the camera, than like what the camera can pick up, which obviously isn't quite right, but I don't know, it doesn't look right to me with a lot of newer movies. And plus, I've always been more of a fan of practical effects. I'm trying to remember, like, what is good CGI? I don't know, there's always just been something about, like, it trying to be too realistic. Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's where it peaked, definitely. It's been a while since I've seen any movies. That's Davy Jones, right? The tentacle beard guy? I'm trying to remember, oh, got one of the rings. Did like the Scholar of the First Sin update to the original game, did that come out before 2016? Because I know the game came out in 2015, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm getting all my dates incorrect. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, what was I... Right. Ring of Blades +2. Have you guys seen any recent like recent as in within the past few years, movies that have been really good? Because I've kind of noticed that theater movies seem to be dropping in quality. It doesn't even have to be theater movies either. Just thinking of like recent movies that were pretty good. Nimona, that animated movie, that was really good. I watched Novocaine recently. That was also pretty good. There's just so many like generic action movies. Which is why Novocaine was so good, because it's a generic action movie with a really, really good gimmick, which is that the main character can't feel any pain. Another thing I've noticed with movies, like this is just generally not recent movies, is that critics can't seem to enjoy fun movies. Like movies that you just don't have to take very seriously. There always has to be some great innovation or whatever nonsense. School. Are you talking about the no talent guy? You have no talent. That guy's hilarious. I'm trying to remember. He says, like, I walked this person up on stage. I can't remember who it was. Bruce Springsteen, maybe? I don't know, some famous musician. Okay, who is up next? Oh, did I not? Clearly I killed the pursuer down here, but apparently I didn't open up the Pharaoh's Lock stone door. Tiniest pieces. Is that what the actual NPC says? Because I only remember what they say in Happy Souls. Can't actually remember what he says in the game. Yeah, I mean, I know the NPC you're talking about, I guess. You wish to guard the bell? Yeah, that sounds boring, and we're not gonna do that. You're gonna regret that! Ha 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 ha! Apologies for my terrible impression. By the way, so we were talking about what game... Well, I was talking about what games I would play if the Soulsborne games didn't exist. And I brought up Shadow of War. Have you ever played that game? Or Middle-earth Shadow of War, or the first game, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor? Both are great games. Done that before. Just need to check something real quick. I think it's a dual bow. Yeah. You get it from the blue Covenant guy after Old Dragon Slayer. No, I haven't. I think I got into the arena of of this Covenant. They invaded another player. No, I can't use it. The whole point is this is like I'm dressed as a Loyce Knight. But yeah, so you have to join this guy's Covenant, which you need a souvenir of appraisal? Token of fidelity. What am I thinking of? Souvenir of appraisal. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking of. But yeah, you need a token of fidelity, which you can either get by helping someone in co-op or like as a phantom, not a host. Or by going to Huntsman's Copse. There's one like right outside this bridge on the ledge. Well, I'll just show you. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult. I have a swiping weapon. But yeah, it's right on that corpse there. That's where you can get it. By the way, fun fact about that invader, I can't remember his name. He actually he doesn't drop it. He has a totally unique... No, I suppose it's not totally, because there's another, the Rothschild Balder invader also has it. But he has a unique wing spear that does different attacks than... Like, if you get a wing spear, you can't do the attacks. I have no idea why. It's basically like the animations of a Dark Souls 1 wing spear instead of Dark Souls 2 wing spear. Loyce sword, I think, or Loyce great sword. You get it from either the soul of Lud or Zolin. I can't remember which one. And then you get the other, the shield from the other soul. Ava gives... Can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Loyce lightsaber weapon. Okay, time for cracked out Sif. God, I hate this boss so much. How did that not hit? So wiggly. It's going all over the place. Okay. Now let me think, what bosses are left? I think just Dark Lurker and the DLC bosses. That's something I've noticed with a lot of like people who don't like Dark Souls 2, is that they don't know, or they don't use items besides like Estus, or they instead of using their Estus, they like completely rely on life gems, not realizing like how slowly they heal. But yeah, luring skulls are just insanely useful for a lot of bosses. Actually, not a bit. For at least two of those bosses, it's extremely helpful. So the Royal Rat Vanguard and especially Executioner's Chariot. I don't know if I enjoy Dark Lurker. Sometimes, sure. Other times, kind of depends if their attacks sync up or not. Yeah, Chariot's cool. I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but I always found that's one of those bosses that like embodies Dark Souls, kind of like Gaping Dragon or Seeing Small, whatever. I don't know, just bosses that are like they embody Dark Souls. That's what I said before, but I can't think of a better way to describe it. All right, where was I? Dark Lurker. The chasms are the problem with Dark Lurker. It's just not fun to go through any of them. Yes, hello, Grendel.
Fine, young man.
I wonder if anybody's ever fought Dark Lurker as their first boss. Because I mean, it's technically possible. I cannot see anything. Dude. Okay, allow me to explain what happened there. I clicked the dodge button while like facing towards him, and because I then got hit, like I clicked it right as I got hit, I ended up dodging later on, like a second later, when my stick was pointed backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah. The mouth?
Also, like, what the hell was that? Why was he being so hyper aggressive?
Nathan.
Oh no, it happened. This won't be number 8, all bosses deathless, unfortunately. To be fair, 7 is enough times. But what a pain in the ass. Why is he being so aggressive? I think that's one of the things that pisses me off the most about Dark Souls 2. Well, first of all, just generally NPC type enemies. But also, as in, like enemies that use the player model. But like, because they're super glitchy, but like... You fuck off. Because it's an older game, the inconsistency in the enemy AI. Because like sometimes they'll just be completely like brain dead, other times they'll act normally, and then sometimes like that, they just become like super aggressive. Because they are supposed to at least slightly mimic real players, so they're not supposed to just attack and attack and attack and attack, because they'd run out of stamina. But of course they didn't program it so that they actually have stamina, so they can just attack and attack. But that's why their AI is designed not to do that. But then they do it, because the AI sucks. It was funny, because I was actually going to, like, say, when I was going into the chasm for the first time, that I always end up dying in the chasm. Like, that's always my first death. But then I didn't want to jinx it. But apparently it didn't matter. And the worst part is, I don't even consider that to be the hardest chasm. I consider this one to be. What question was that? Yeah, because the AI isn't good. I know, but I don't know, I'm trying to reason, like, why wouldn't they make the AI work properly? And, like, it's always the NPC enemies who are just completely broken, because, like, first of all, they can dodge, well, at least, the dual Ablin one, what's her name? Bowman Guthrie, that's it. Bowman Guthrie is just like, she can dodge faster than you're supposed to be able to. Or, I mean, technically she abuses a glitch to do it, or an unintended mechanic, I guess you could also call it. But yeah, so they have infinite stamina, infinite spells. More health than what's possible, and I don't just mean the New Game Plus ones. Because of course they have more health. Oh, really? They can turn around faster than, like, while attacking, which you are not able to do. Because there's a certain limitation the game has on how far you can turn while you swing. But, like, they can just do 180s. Like in the other Soulsborne games. What else? They take reduced fall damage, despite not having, like, a cat ring or anything on. Though that's just generally true for every enemy in the game. Oh yeah, they can attack while blocking. That's a relatively rare occurrence, though, thankfully. They can still, like, count as blocking as they attack for, like, a split second after attacking. After a block, I mean. Just thinking, what other ways are they broken? Oh, right, they can just choose not to run out of poise. Or, like, to just ignore the poise stat in general and keep attacking. What else? Oh, right, at the very least, Muldrin can dodge out of backstabs and ripostes. Which, I'm not kidding, that's actually something he could do. I had it happen to me once. And of course it's Muldrin, the most annoying invader in the entire game. Oh yeah, they don't have durability on their equipment, which obviously, 99% of the time isn't gonna come into effect, but if I throw acid pots or use acid surge on an enemy, I expect their equipment to break. Seems like a fair assumption to have. Where's the last one? Right. I think I'm gonna beat Dark Lurker and then I'll end the stream off there.
Yeah. The mouth?
Leave the DLCs for the last stream.
Yeah. Maybe.
With somewhere around a week from now. Probably next Tuesday, if I were to hazard a guess. What's with the questions about poutine? No, I'm not gonna go get poutine. I prefer to keep my arteries unclogged. No, no, I'm just... It's more that you're asking about poutine twice. Like, it's kind of a random subject, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's Dark Lurker. Thank you. Feel free to join the Discord. You can check, like, other streams or videos. They'll be in the description. I don't know if it's in the channel description. I should probably add it if it's not. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what makes a good chatter. You didn't say anything offensive. And you did say at least one thing, so you chatted. I mean, I don't really care too much. It's nice having someone to talk to, though. Um, hmm. As a chatter, I would say you are, one of the better chatters. You don't say weird things. That's also very nice. Because I do have like 2 or 3 chatters who are kind of strange. On purpose, of course, just to weird me out. And they're my friends, so. But yeah, so join the Discord if you want. If not, that's fine too. I usually like post, oh, I'll be live in 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 5 minutes. So. Huh, how old? I'd say 14 to 17, somewhere in that range. If I were to like pick a specific number, I'm gonna say 16. What? Am I way off? You're 46? Seriously? I don't know, I guess you seem relatively inquisitive, which is usually a trait of younger people. Also, using common internet slang like lol. Or OIC, which I'm gonna be honest, never really got a hold on internet slang, so I don't know what OIC means. Oh wait, is it OIC? Like OHISEEE? That's one too many E's. And that was 6 years. That was 7 years before I was born. Also, I mean the name Mr. Whiskers with a cute picture of a cat. I guess I would assume maybe like, well, with a lot of older people, the picture they use is either default. Hopefully you don't take offense to me saying older. Is like either default or like a family photo or just like a picture of themselves. Darkness. I don't know if I've seen that movie. I'll look it up right now. Oh, yeah. I've never seen this, but I'm very familiar with the character. I've seen a few clips of it on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you very much for watching. Maybe I'll see you next time.